G'day, mate.
Yeah. Okay. So this Tip Tuesday, we had a question on how not to kill pups. So I'm going to give you some tips on how to. I can't promise they're not going to die, but just help.
The best chance for success.
That's right. Yeah, of your pups. So I'm just going to use Echeveria halbingerii as an example today. So naturally, it doesn't have a large rosette. So I think you want to make sure that your pups aren't too small that you're taking off of your particular plant. I think it's also really important to know growing season of your plant as well. So yeah, that way if you know it's in growing season, that you've got a high chance that it's going to strike a roots, and it's not going to just sit there if it was dormant and not do much. So at the moment, Echeveria are normally dormant here winter in Australia, but um, we have been having some good daytime temperatures here in the greenhouse, so
So
we,
you
we can
just
kind of get
told them
away
it's
with it.
really important to cut it in their growing
Yeah,
season, and now you're telling them this is not their growing season, but you're going to cut it anyway.
yeah. Well, we're still getting a little bit of growth here because we've got it in a greenhouse, so I
Okay.
suppose we're kind of cheating in a way. Yeah. So normally, they won't get much bigger than that, the main rosette. We like to keep them nice and tight so we don't water them as much.
That dead one.
Yeah, that one's seen better days. Whereas if you're watering them a lot more, you're going to get a lot, the head's going to open up more and look a bit bigger. So these guys are quite dehydrated and they look amazing, a bit stressed. So I'm just going to grab one from, say, like here. So you want to make sure they're not too small, depending on your variety. And it's always good to get some with roots if possible. If not, then that's all good. So we're just going to get some scissors here, and I'm just going to snip it from there. So you can see you got some roots here. They don't look good, so I don't think that they will help you. So if you've got any leaves that are a little bit, how are you going, like dead or yellowing off, pick them off. It's also good just to create a bit of a stem, so you want to take off some of the lower leaves as well. You can keep them as well, and that will hopefully you'll start striking some pups off those guys. So what I like to do is use cinnamon. So that's just personal choice. I like to use it. Dab it on the end there. It smells nice too. It's beautiful.
Natural.
Yeah, so cinnamon is just a natural fungicide, so this will help with preventing root rot or just stem rot, and yeah, it also helps as a like a rooting hormone as well, so it'll increase your chances of it striking roots as well. So yeah, it's good to dab some cinnamon on there. Let it air dry for a couple of days, your pups. If your mix is completely dry, then you can get away with dabbing some cinnamon on it and then putting it into your potting mix. That's okay, or in the garden. But if it is slightly moist, just let it air dry for a few days, up to a week is even fine. You can even do it longer. That's no problem at all. But just make sure that it is upright, because if you do have it on a bit of a side, on its side, it will start to stretch a bit, but also lose its shape as well. Yeah, so we just dabbed the cinnamon on there, and I've got a really dry mix here already, potting mix, so I'll just put it into this cute little 6 centimeter
Ooh
pot.
la.
How good is that? Yeah, so then what you want to do is avoid watering because it's got no roots. Even if they do have a little bit of roots, it's good to just avoid watering just for the moment, because you do have a fresh cut from taking it off from the main parent plant. Let that sit for about a week or two. Then you can start to slowly increase, or not increase, but adding a little bit of water as well. So you can use a little spray bottle. That's fine. Quick squirt with your hose if you're watering in the garden. That's fine as well. And yeah, then hopefully, within a couple of weeks, if they're in their growing season, they'll strike roots, and away you go.
So some people prefer rooting hormones and stuff like that to cinnamon, but
yeah, you can use rooting hormones. There's a lot out there on the market. You can even use honey if you like.
Heaps of options.
We just use cinnamon. It doesn't cost a lot, and we just had a random big amount of it just sitting around. So I use it particularly on our variegated plants, who are a little bit more funnier and tend to get stem rot a lot easier than other species of plant. So yeah, So you don't have to use cinnamon. You can even use sulfur. That works as well. Or you can use a rooting hormone. That's fine as well. But
Or
yeah,
you
we
can
just
use
personally-
nothing, because that's what we used to do.
Or you can use nothing. That is
Just
an
make
option
sure
as
they
well.
callus over.
That's right. Make sure they're callous, so they're air drying for a few days up to a week, and that will be fine. So yeah, hopefully you found that helpful. Hopefully that will, those tips there can help increase your chances of your pups not dying on you. But yeah, really important to make sure that they're good sized. Don't go around and you see this little tiny one here, and I'm just going to go and snip it off. And
Oh, I thought you were going to do it.
I think I missed it when I went for the snip. So, but yeah, I mean it will still strike, but it's always nice to get a fairly decent sized one as well. It's already kind of, I suppose, a bit more mature than the tiny one, and it will increase your chances of it powering on like your other plants there. So yeah, hopefully you found those tips helpful. If you have any other questions, please let us know. Keep liking, subscribing if you're liking our videos. Please feel free to mention any other topics you'd like us to go through and add to our list for future videos. We're happy to do that. Have a great week, and catch you the next Tip Tuesday.
And I'm just going to randomly add one extra tip, and it's just be patient, because I know at the start when I used to do it, I'd be like, cut the thing, stick the thing in, and then every 5 minutes just pull it out. Has it got roots? Has it got roots? Has it got, and still no roots. The more you look at it, the slower it grows, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think you're right there too. And if you're continuously checking, taking it out of the soil and checking if it's got a root, one day you may have a root on there, and then you pull it out and you snap the root off, and that's quite
devastating.
Yeah, it is. So just be patient with them. That's it, and don't give them too much TLC. Less is more with these guys, with succulents in general. If you're watering them a lot, then and fertilizing them too hard, and you're loving them too much, and
they'll die on you.
Yeah, you'll have a lot of deaths, unfortunately. So yeah, always good to try and imitate its natural environment. I mean, obviously, if you got them out in the garden and you're getting heaps of rain, then I mean, there's not really much you can do about that. But just make sure that the garden mix is really well drained, so then once the rain does stop, it can dry it quickly and provide lots of oxygen.
Sorry, I'm going to make you give them another tip now. So do they need to have any type of, look at me flipping my hand around, particular soil to a mix to put it in, did you say? Or was I just not listening?
You can just use a succulent cactus potting mix, that's fine as well. You can use coir mixed with some zeolites, fine as well, and a bit of perlite, that works too. You can use peat moss instead of the coir if you want to, although coir tends to be a bit more cheaper option there. But both will work. Some people can even, have even done it in just straight propagation sand, that works too. Yeah, we just use our own potting mix just because it just saves a lot of time. We're just trying to be more efficient with our tasks, because it's mainly you and me, isn't it?
Just the two of us.
That's it.
You and I.
So there's a lot to do with just two people, and the girls help us too, and they're in the mood, which they're not at the moment. So yeah, have a great day. We'll see you next week.